Have a good night.
You too, youngin. That's my stepson. Good evening, and welcome back to the Not So Perfect Bigfoot Show. I'm glad all of you could join. We have no direction for this show tonight. We're just going to hang out and have a good time. I will put a link on there if you guys want to jump in. Just click on the link, and we'll go anywhere you want to go. If you have any questions of the guests, just ask away. I just put the link up. Tonight we have Dale Boswell, the legend himself. He's going to sing a little Elvis and country music, maybe some Christmas songs. And we have Mary Faven, Pennsylvania Bigfoot Project founder from Pennsylvania. Mary, she gave her time up tonight to jump on the show so we could keep folks company tonight. And then we have the Southern Belle herself, Selena Garrett Dunn. Selena is also a Bigfooter that she's from Alabama, right? You're Alabama or Arkansas. Okay. And she is just as sweet as she could be. We decided to do the show tonight just for people that, maybe if you're at home alone or don't have anyone around the house or anyone to spend Christmas with, we wanted to have you guys on the show or have a show for you guys. We really don't have a direction tonight, but actually I thought I would start out with a really heartwarming Christmas story that happened yesterday. I was over at my mother-in-law's house, and she had a early dinner for her brother-in-law and that side of the family. And when I walked through, I just waved at everybody, but they had some chicken and pastry in the kitchen, so I was thinking about that chicken and pastry, so I just threw a quick wave and went up steps and went to the kitchen and was eating some pastry. And when everyone was leaving, this gentleman come in and he was telling us bye and everything, and he said, well, he was on his way to Florida. And I said, well, I hope you enjoy your trip. And he says, well, we're going to Disney World. I said, well, you're going to be tired and broke. And he says, no, actually, Make-A-Wish Foundation has treated my daughter to a trip to Disney World. And his daughter was actually in the lower level out there eating. She was 5 years old, and she was born with half of a heart.
Oh.
And she just learned how to walk this year. And she walked through the kitchen, and she was kind of stumbly on her feet, but she was walking and keeping her head up. And Make-A-Wish Foundation actually is treating her to a Christmas vacation at Disneyland, Florida. And I thought that was the sweetest Christmas story that it just touched my heart. And it was heartwarming, and I just wanted to put it out there. 5 years old, she beat the odds walking when they said she would never walk, and Make-A-Wish Foundation stepped up and really making her dreams come true on a Christmas. And so you did something really nice too. You made sure a young man got Christmas. And
Yes, a little 5-year-old. I'd like to give an update on that. $160 was raised for this precious little 5-year-old, and so he had Santa this morning galore. So
that is
I
awesome.
have pictures, receipts, and anything anybody would need for people that donated. So thank you all so much.
Wow.
That is pretty incredible. Mary, you got a Christmas story or something you want to recognize?
Oh, well, right now, no. Whenever I used to work, I retired from Blue Cross Blue Shield 10 years ago. And I used to, Make-A-Wish would have a table set up in the lobby of the building. And, during Christmas and payday, I would take half of my paycheck and just donate it to Make-A-Wish, because they truly are a worthy foundation, to donate to, for the children. Come on, that they're the most important thing right now. They're the future. We want to give them blessings.
So
Thank
Dale,
you so much, Miss Mary. Thank you so much.
yes. So Dale, how was your Christmas? I see you got your guitar going on there.
Um, yes, ma'am. Well, we had a good Christmas. It's kind of laid back and quiet. Just like I like them. Not too busy, but enough to get everything done that we needed to get done, and everybody enjoyed it. So that's the number one thing. But yeah, I'm always so much more comfortable with the guitar, whether I'm playing it or not, especially speaking, because I never consider myself that much of a speaker. Uh, because I always enjoyed singing and playing guitar and being speaker. See, like all you folks are professional speakers. You got to spit it out right then. Being a singer, you know the words already. You see, so you get to cheat a little bit. But I've really been enjoying what's going on. I've enjoyed the Christmas season, and I just feel more comfortable even when I'm just talking, having a guitar. And actually, this microphone doesn't even work, but I feel so much comfort speaking into a microphone. So I thought I'm gonna just trick myself into reverse psychology tonight. But anyway, how do y'all doing?
We're doing good. Swamp Kitty said, "Hey, I figured I'd just go ahead and get that out of the way before she crashes the show." Would like to acknowledge everybody in chat if you'll give me a minute. Katie G, PJ, Arkansas Prospect in USA. We got Billy out there, Gary out there, Blue Eyed Northern, Misty, Billy Shillings is out there, Air Force One, Dog. I'm trying to see if I missed that. Phyllis, we are so glad you're in chat tonight, Phyllis. We're glad you're feeling better, girl.
Yes.
Love you to the moon, girl. We're glad you're feeling better. I think that's what we got. That Joe Parker asked, actually put on Facebook today. He said, Miss V, what goes good with the black cat? He said grits. I said, boy, you better stop that. Pyroman. Pyro. I started to tell Pat what he did, but I figured I wanted him to have a nice Christmas regardless. Diane Dunn, Pyromedic, brother, how you doing? I think I about got everybody. If I missed anybody, I'm sorry. Sometimes Shannon Dola gives, sometimes I forget to stop the show. Mary, how you doing, Mama? I didn't know it. Sometimes I forget to stop the show and acknowledge people, and I apologize. Dale, you know,
What?
you know, you know what we're about to ask you, buddy. Tell us a George Jones story for the country music friend. Crip did the search investigations. Hey, thank you for joining us, Forest friend. Dale, last time we left off with you, buddy, we were talking some of the country music legends you have met. We were telling some Elvis stories.
Yeah, we had a great time. I really enjoyed that show. I really just let it loose, and it was just all. I didn't. I forgot we were even on the show. It's just like you and I were just talking country music, you know. So I hope I didn't tell any of those behind the scenes stories I'm not supposed to talk about, you know. But yeah, I've been very fortunate, and I enjoy it, and I call it a prestigious hobby. Been in the country music business through the years. You know, I've never been a really big star, but I've had some radio airplay. A few of my songs throughout the years, all over the world, even places like Germany and New Zealand. You know, just it would it would be such an honor and so humbling to pull up a New Zealand song list from a New Zealand country music radio station and see one or two of my songs on the playlist. Then of course, like I say, I've never made any like most musicians, never made a whole lot of money at it. It's more of a like I say, a prestigious hobby, and I've just been very fortunate to do a lot of things that a lot of country music fans would just die for, you know. And then some of the people I've been fortunate to meet. And it's not that I'm any better than anyone else, you know. I'm definitely not the best singer, or songwriter, or the guitar picker there ever was, you know. But it's all got to do with who you know and being in the right place at the right time, you know. Like you see in the movies, it's all true. especially in the music business. And it's a dog eat dog world out there, you know, if you ever get too deep into it. But I try not to talk about that part of it, and because it takes the fun out of it when you turn it back to the music side, you know. But yeah, man, shoot, boy, I could tell you some cool things. But now, let me warn you. Now, most of the people I talk about are old school. I mean, because this was back during the '70s, early '80s was my country music time period, and most people I knew was back during that time period. And most of the artists and things that that had the hit songs was radio people back then. So if I mention somebody, some of these young people I ain't never heard of, just Google him and look him up because I guarantee you, he's a or she is a legend and has really done a lot to shape country music into what it used to be. It's not as much as it used to be. We all know that things change, uh, but still, I'm sorry for rambling.
Yeah. You're not rambling, but you know what I was going to ask you to sing is In the Ghetto, right? That was,
Oh yeah,
yes,
absolutely.
Me,
absolutely.
me and Miss Mary and Miss Vale sing you back up.
Oh, there you go. And it's only 3 words in the ghetto, or 4 syllables in the ghetto. Yeah.
That's a powerful song. We're going to hand it to you, buddy.
Okay. All right. Well, I haven't done it since last time I done it on your show.
Hold up,
Matter of fact,
Nina. You're going to love it, Mama.
I don't have a whole lot of volume, so I'm gonna kind of get it out the best I can, and I'm gonna hope this microphone is working and tricking me. But as the snow flies on a cold and gray Chicago morning, a poor little baby child is born in the ghetto, and his mama cried. There's one thing that she don't need, it's another hungry mouth to feed in the ghetto. Oh, don't you understand? Child needs a helping hand. He'll probably be an angry young man someday. Take a look at you and me. Don't be too blind to see. Don't we simply turn our heads and look the other way, where the world turns. A hungry little boy with a runny nose plays in the street as the cold wind blows in the ghetto. And he's hungry. So he starts to roam the streets at night. He learns how to steal. He learns how to fight in the ghetto.
In the ghetto.
Then one night in desperation, the young man slips away. He buys a gun. He steals a car. Tries to roll, but he don't get far, and his mother cries. Crowd gathers round an angry young man face down in the street with a gun in his hand in the ghetto.
In the ghetto.
Listen, mama.
I can't help, Miss Mary. I can't help. I
Something like
wanted to absolutely. I don't know if Miss V can hear me or not, but certain parts of his voice, I just wanted to pull. Oh, there she is.
There
Hey,
he
Miss
is.
V. I thought I couldn't see you there for a minute. I'm sorry. I wanted to just pull him closer. I wanted to say, "Oh my gosh, move that microphone for just a minute," and
Yeah.
You better stop.
that microphone, because I think the microphone on our computers or phones interfere with the microphone itself. And man, was his voice amazing. And I kept wanting to just
Yes. Oh, thank you so much, Dale. What a
Wow.
blessing.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah.
I appreciate that, and it does. It's hard to perform like live on mediums like this. It'll
Yeah.
sometimes it'll get thrown off a little bit. Like I said, I don't have a whole lot of volume, and I
Well, when you
wish I
would go
did. But thank
quiet,
you so
I
much.
kept wanting to put my ear to the. It's like when your voice would go out, I'd go leaning a little closer.
Well, I'll try to get in a little bit closer if I do another.
Thank you so much. That was awesome.
Absolutely. So William or Rusty says In the Ghetto was from Elvis's comeback album, along with Suspicious Mind and Kentucky Rain, which accounted for 3 #1 hits on one album. Yeah, he was pretty cool.
Yeah, he knows his business. That's correct. And in the Ghetto was written by the country music singer songwriter Mac Davis. And he
Yeah.
had a lot of big hits back in the day, but Mac wrote that song. And
Oh, really? Wow.
yeah,
I
sure
did
did.
not know that.
Mhm.
I didn't either. But I love to hear Mac Davis sing, so it makes
Oh
sense.
yeah. Mac has always been my heroes, and I remember watching the show as a kid, and he had a variety show, and he's such a great songwriter. I mean, he's wrote so many great songs. Uh, and had a lot of #1 hits on up to that. Oh Lord, I'd love to be humble when you're perfect in every way. I don't have to remember all that, and he did stuff like when I could just sit around making music all day long. As long as I'm making music, I can't do nobody no wrong. Who knows, maybe someday I'll come up with a song that makes people want to stop their shouting and shouting along and sing along. I believe in music. Oh, I believe in love. I believe in music. Oh, I believe in love. I don't know why I just jumped into that. I ain't sang that song in years, but anyway, that was old Mac Davis song.
Wow.
Thank you.
Wow.
Well, that's pretty cool. So, Dale, you're not only a wonderful artist, but you're also a Bigfooter too, aren't you? That's the
Yes,
one thing we
ma'am.
all four got in common.
Yeah, I tell people if people who know me know I don't say a whole lot really. It seems like I can go for days and I speak to anyone. No more than I have to. I'm just a quiet person, basically. But if you want to get me going, just mention Bigfoot or old school country music, and I'll talk your little old ears off. But yeah, ma'am, I love my Bigfoot and the Bigfoot community, man. Yeah,
Yes.
golly, I have had so much fun and met so many great people. And you won't believe how many great musicians are in the Bigfoot community. Lots of them, and not just the people like Les Stroud and Stacy Brown and some of those that are well-known musicians, but Billy Shelley and even Spencer Jameson plays a little guitar. Yeah,
Wow.
Did not know that.
yeah,
The
absolutely.
Spence plays the guitar. Billy says it's fun and the friends that music brings out counts. Dale was a special guy, not short bus special either. Ha ha ha. William says, or Rusty, I grew up in Memphis and my dad was a country music musician, so he knew most of the local musicians. That's a good way to grow up right there,
Oh, yeah.
William. So now, one thing that we all have in common is that we're all Bigfooters, and I do want to we got to put Mary back on stage. I do want to do the cryptid a little because most people that tune in do want to talk a little bit of cryptid, but I also want to talk the music too. It says William Robinson says Dale may know my great uncle Paul Burleson. Did I get that right? The rock and roll trio with Johnny Barnett.
I remember Johnny Burnett for sure, so I'm sure I probably know him or have met him before. So perhaps I have to Google it and go back and reminisce a little bit.
Air Force One says I was country when country wasn't cool.
Oh, yeah, that was a George Jones type song, but Barbara Mandrell sang it. That was a great song.
Yeah, Barbara Mandrell's not around
Actually,
anymore.
they did a duet. Didn't they do a duet together on that song? I think.
I don't know. Didn't Barbara Mandrell always do a duet with Kenny Rogers?
Oh gosh, she
That was Dolly Parton who did several duets with Kenny Rogers. Barbara may have. I've only met Barbara one time, and I never will forget it because she was actually pregnant at the time, and she's a little bitty old thing. But it wasn't long after she had her she had a bad car wreck that almost killed her years ago. But
Wow.
anyway, and again, like I mentioned on your show, Miss B, if I get to rambling about country music history, it's because I love the subject so much, and I used to just dig so deep into the kind of like I'm Bigfoot. Anything about country music, I have researched, especially the old school. I used to tell you where all the artists, what their real names were, where they're from, where they live, just things like that. So if I get to rambling about something, because y'all bring up somebody's name, y'all don't pay me no attention. But yes, ma'am, I love the Bigfooting, and I want to hear some stuff. And I enjoyed a little bit of Mary's show a little earlier. I mean, Brian was watching that, and that was a great show, Miss Mary.
I did not get to catch that. What did I miss? We were doing Christmas at my husband's mother's house. So I literally just got back when we hit on the air. So I was like, hey, Johnny, me Doc Bigfoot. So I literally, Johnny, you want to jump on? I can send you a link. So I literally, I hit go, and there it was as soon as I sat down. What I miss, Mary?
Oh, well, we were just going over different things going on, and I was announcing a camping trip that we'll be doing at the end of April. We always do our very first camp out at the last weekend of April, and I was announcing the dates.
It was a great show. Yeah, and I have known Miss Mary so long. I mean, in the community. I mean, it's been a long time, ain't it?
It has.
So I told my wife, I said, I get to be on the show with Miss Mary. That'd be cool. I've never done that before, but I've always watched your shows and followed your research, and I'm a member of your group, and I even got one of your T-shirts. Remember, I think I sent you one of my CDs one time. You sent me a T-shirt or something.
Oh, that's right. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mhm.
And this is, I haven't met you in person yet, although
No.
we almost did at that Bigfoot Outlaws meet and greet back in 2017.
Yeah, I had that would have been so much fun, and I almost made it, but it was a long story behind it. But right at the last minute, we couldn't make it, and it was due to some medical issues. Actually, I won't go a long story, but it's
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
anyway, yeah. Hopefully one day though we'll all meet, hang out together a little bit.
I'm going to make my way down to Alabama one of these days. Yeah, my goal is 2025. I've got so many friends in Alabama that I have to get there.
Come on down, girl.
Yeah, yeah,
Absolutely.
absolutely. I'll be there.
Oh, man.
Come
You
on.
can always stay with me.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah.
Prospecting USA says, Dale, have you seen Johnny Cash train set? Oh, I would have to fight you over that. I love Johnny Cash. He wants to have you seen the Johnny Cash train set?
A train set as like a toy. I mean, like a model train set. Or I didn't
I'll
know.
have to wait.
I know
for
Johnny Cash
songs.
did a lot of train type songs, but I don't. I've never seen the train set, but I remember that song "Come Along and Ride This Train." Remember when he had his TV show on, and he would do a little segment sometimes. And I remember that song. But he was one of my first influences into country music when I was about 12 years old, I guess, in about 1970 something. But yeah, I always loved Johnny Cash and his music, and especially the train songs. You know, one misdemeanor about Johnny Cash, and I've had this argument so many times with people, but because of Johnny Cash and the songs he sang about trains and prison, you know, he did a lot of prison songs. But you know, Johnny Cash has never been in prison. There's some people will fight you about that. You know, he's been in jail, in county jails and things like that. But as far as a prison sentence, like Merle Haggard was in prison for armed robbery. I mean, Merle was actually a prison inmate, you know, but Johnny Cash was actually never in prison. But even though, you know, because all these songs, folks in prison blues and the
Yeah.
recorded live in San Quentin albums and things, you know, but that's one of those those things I talk to at least once, twice a year. Somebody will bring it up, and I'll say no. But okay,
Yeah, he did concerts in prisons, but that's about it.
yep, that was it. But
Gosh, I love
if anybody had a prison look, though, I mean, he looked like he could. He'd been in and out of prison, and it was actually Merle Haggard saw one of his concerts in prison. And that's where it kind of influenced Merle to get into the business after he got out of prison.
Wow.
Merle was my other influence and my idol. And I never got to meet Johnny Cash, but I did get to meet Merle Haggard a few times and hang out backstage with him and do a little short tour with him, not playing with him or anything, but actually traveling with him for a weekend. Robin and I did back in, I think it's back in 2009. It's been a long time ago, but we had a great time with Merle and the Strangers. Anybody knows his band will tell you he had the best band in the business. He called them the Strangers, and man, that was such a great time to be around somebody like Haggard, you know. And when I first started playing guitar and learning, decided I want to be a country star one day or something. You know, I had three goals. And like most guitar pickers, I wanted to be on the Grand Ole Opry. I wanted to appear on the Ernest Tubb Midnight Jamboree,
Wow.
and I wanted to meet Merle Haggard. And actually, I achieved two of those. I've never been on the Opry, but I have appeared on the Ernest Tubb Midnight Jamboree, which is a really big deal and a really big honor.
Yeah.
Because it's not something that you just book. Say, hey, I want to play that show. You got any dates open? It's something that you're invited to play on, you know. And everybody, if you're familiar with the history, everybody from Elvis to Johnny Cash, including all the stars in between, Ray Charles, everybody has played the Ernest Tubb Midnight Jamboree at one time. So for me getting a chance to perform there was a big honor, and even now it's still broadcast every Saturday night at midnight, the Ernest Tubb Midnight Jamboree Show,
Wow.
and it's the longest running radio show right next to the Grand Ole Opry in the history of radio. You know,
Now, Dale, have you ever made it up to Wheeling, West Virginia to their jamboree?
oh Lord, no, you know, but I have read so much about that, and I used to be a big fan of the country music. I think it's a country song roundup magazines back years ago, and they would always have an article about what was going on up there at the jamboree, and I was like, God, I would love to go there, but I remember looking at photographs and things. That's a big deal, man.
It was, yeah. We had gone there a couple times whenever I was a kid, but yeah, my mother was a huge fan of Loretta Lynn because she was a West Virginia hillbilly, and
No, yeah,
so
absolutely.
she felt such a connection to Loretta Lynn.
Oh wow, yeah. Loretta Lynn is I loved her music. I still do, you know, and
I loved her.
probably of all the artists I've actually seen perform in person, I've seen Conway and Loretta together, you know, and Conway probably more times than anybody I've ever seen, but I've never got a chance to meet them. But I have actually seen them in concert many times. But those some good ones.
George
Yeah.
Jones and Tammy Wynette. Did you ever get to see that?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, oh yeah, absolutely.
Oh, wow.
I've got to meet George Jones several times. I think first time I was like 15 years old. The first time I ever met George Jones, and I tell you a little quick story about it, and this will be in my book if I ever get it finished. But it was like I said, I was 15 years old, so this is about 1974, I guess it was, 75, 74, somewhere in there. But anyway, Freddie Hart, I don't know if you old schoolers remember Freddie Hart. He had one of his big songs, or it was called Easy Loving. And it's one of the biggest songs in country music history. Well, Freddie's from my hometown of Phoenix City, and when we moved to Phoenix City in the early 70s, actually his family was the first family we had met when we moved here, pretty much. So right about, and that was about the time Easy Loving hit and propelled Freddie Hart to one of the biggest stars in country music. Anyway, we were good friends with him on up until his death, and years later. But Freddie was he was performing in Montgomery, and they used to have a show called the Alabama Stars for Children show every year. And most of the artists that were, or not most of them, but a lot of them that were from the state of Alabama would go, and it'd be a big charity show. And of course, being Freddie was from Phoenix City, Alabama, where I'm from. He's always invited to the show, and along with George Jones. George has some Alabama connections, and Tammy Wynette and George Lindsay Cooper from Mayberry is from Alabama. Gomer Powell, Gomer and Cooper are from Alabama. Even right on up to Hank Williams Sr. So there's so many artists that are from Alabama. But anyways, Brady was invited to do one of these shows, and he asked me, "Do I want to go with him?" Of course, I wasn't but 15 years old, and really just had got to the country music thing, and of course, So we went with him, and but before the show, we had a big dinner at the governor's mansion, and this was back. To tell you how long ago this was, when George Wallace was governor of Alabama.
Oh, wow.
Was, and we didn't get to meet him because he was sick at the time. But his wife Cornelia met us at the door, and we come in. But we didn't get to meet George Wallace while we were there. But anyway. We walk in there, and there's so many movie stars and stuff, and a lot of big professional athletes. And there, George Jones was there also. So that's why I got to first meet him, and Goober, and Wayne Rogers from MAG. Remember him? He was there. I thought he played Hawkeye or Trapper. He was there. We just had a great time. But yeah, George is. Man, that name will live on forever and ever and ever.
Yeah.
So, Dale, what's the next song you're going to hit us with? We're going to have to talk a little and sing a little.
Oh, Lord, shoot! Well, I told y'all to get me rambling about country music if you brought it up. So look what I did. I'm taking up the Bigfoot time.
No, sir. This is about anything goes.
But I do a whole lot more interviews about Bigfoot than I do about my music these days, because I'm not really into the music as much as far as traveling or playing very much or performing, every once in a while here and there. So I do more Bigfoot stuff. But it's so much fun to get to talk about my music a little bit. But like I said, that's my other passion next to the Bigfoot thing, is as far as my prestigious hobbies, what I call them. So I'm really enjoying this, and you get ready to hush me up, just sing a Bill Anderson song or something.
Well, we're enjoying it too, Dale.
Okay. See, how about if I do a song I wrote?
There you go.
Do some original stuff. Okay. Johnny Cash used to do that. I keep a close watch on this heart of mine. I keep my eyes wide open all the time. I keep saying love all the time in mine. Because
Because
you're
you're mine.
I walk the line.
What?
Anyway, I didn't mean jump in that side. I can't even
Hey, hey,
remember.
hey.
I can't believe I even remembered it because I haven't seen that song in 20 years probably. But
One of the
but
best songs
uh,
ever,
Yes,
ever.
it
That
is.
song
I love,
rocks.
I love that song.
it was.
Yeah, just drooling over here. Dave.
Dale, uh, hey Dale,
Huh?
I am absolutely, and I am in no way toot my own horn. I promise I'm not, but I know what you mean when you say that you just love singing. It's the music. It's what mood it puts you in. It ain't how good you sound, because Lord knows I'm not a professional, but I do love singing. It's
Her and
just
Yeah,
Mary.
I knew you did. So I'm waiting on me and you fixing to do Jackson. You remember that one? Well,
I ain't,
no,
I ain't
Hey,
singing
no, Mary.
we got
unless
Mary
Mary
jumped
that
on with.
Mystique hit me.
a
Then I'll
fever.
sing it.
Hey, Mary jumped on with some background vocals a while ago. Why don't you guys pick a song that you where they can sing the background vote? You don't want me to sing because everybody, I will lose every subscriber I have at But why don't you guys, Mary? What's a good song that you could sing backup on that you and Selena could sing backup
Whatever he wants to sing, I
on? There, what's a good song that they would probably
Let's
know
see.
that they could sing backup on?
Let me think. Let's see. Okay, let's see. Let's do this. Let's do this. I'm gonna try to build that a little bit volume rise, but it's a song you probably know if you know Johnny Cash, and I guess it's got some pretty good backup parts in it, but
Johnny Cash was supposed to have been my husband. Just saying, between one and
let's see,
three,
yeah,
we should
do
have
it.
been there somewhere. All right, girls, go see some backup.
Okay, I found my key.
Phyllis, you can
All
jump
right, now
on.
y'all girls, y'all actually do have a part in this song, and it's a recorded part. It was, and when you if you remember the song, you know what I'm talking about. If you ain't never heard it before, you you know your only three words are "Mama sang tenor." It is. It really is. It really is.
I know.
And well, you guys, if you're sitting around, and you want to sing. There's a part for you
Okay,
too.
Daddy, go ahead and sing bass.
Hey, yeah, yeah. You daddy sing bass and mama sing tenor. Let me see what I can do that one now. Uh, well, I remember when I was a lad, times were hard and things were bad. But there's a silver lining behind every cloud. Just poor people, that's all we were, trying to make a living out of black land. We get together in a family circle, singing loud. Daddy sing bass.
Mama sang tenor.
Mom sang
Me and
tenor.
little brother would go riding there. Singing seemed to help a troubled soul. One of these days, and it won't be long, we're going to know them the song. We'll get together again up yonder in a little while. The circle be unbroken by and by, Lord.
By and by.
The daddy sing bass.
Mama sang
Mama sang
tenor.
tenor.
Me and little brother would join riding in the sky, Lord, in the sky. Okay, big old ending. In the sky, Lord. In
In
the
the
sky.
sky.
I said, if I ever belt out, listen, I joke a little bit on my
I
shows, just
love it, love it, love it.
lives and singing. I am so loud, I even hurt my own ears when I joke on my own shows. Oh my goodness. Hi, Greg.
I'm trying to get Phyllis to click on and she said and sing with you guys. Come on, Phyllis. Look, it's right there. Come on,
I
Phyllis.
love it.
She said she always wanted to sing with Dale. Dale, what kind of
Yeah,
Christmas music
we're
you got
going to.
going on out there that they could? How do I sing with? Well, honey, Phyllis, I will send you a link and you just jump on with us. How about that? Come on, guys.
Good.
Let's do
Absolutely.
it, Phyllis. Go, Phyllis. Go, Phyllis. Here's the link right here, Phyllis.
Let me give her some intro music.
Come on, Phyllis. Just click on that link. Come right on in, Mama. Wait, we
We're
got
giving her some intro music now.
Phyllis, Phyllis, Phyllis. Go, Phyllis. Go,
We
Phyllis.
love Phyllis.
There you go.
Blue Eyed Door.
All right, Mama.
I just love all these people so much. Every time I see a name pop up, I'm like, Blue Eyed Northern, Greg House, Tennessee Bigfoot. So it's like as they pop up, I'm just announcing them. I just love everybody so
There
much.
you go.
I
No,
was
Tammy, you did not hear me singing because I would like to keep what few subscribers I had, but Miss Tammy, I can send you a link and you can jump on and sing with us, little mama. You know you're welcome. Oh, look at here, y'all. All right.
Let's see if it's going to work. Huh? Gonna work. Here we
All
go.
right, I got some background feed somewhere.
Is it gonna work?
Yes.
Am I there?
Yes. Hey. Hi.
All right.
Put me on the TV. I can't
Well,
sing
we
my
love you.
song.
Merry Christmas. We love you, Phyllis. Merry Christmas.
Am I? Hello. I had a.
See, we're having an issue with the audio.
Yeah, we're having an issue with the audio. So
No, we don't care. Listen,
yeah, we're having an issue with the audio
we got some back feed.
and an issue with everything else.
Try to turn your Bluetooth off.
Somebody's got
Issue with
on the
everything
background.
else. It's on.
It's off. I can't tell.
Let's see what was
Turn your
that?
volume up. See if it comes in.
Yeah, shut off your YouTube.
It's on. This is it. All I can do.
All right.
There you go.
Awesome.
Where'd it go?
Okay. What song do we want to hit up with that we all can sing? Except for me. I'm the supervisor.
What was the song that Tammy and George sang? We got married in a fever, hotter than
Well, unfortunately, you can hear us, but we cannot hear you.
Hey,
So we're having trouble with StreamYard tonight.
All night long.
Carry on with the show. We're going to get back to you. Love you guys. Sorry.
No singing tonight. Come on. I think
Another time.
that was premeditated.
Another time. Hey, we'll all get together at a camp out and we'll all do some singing then.
Absolutely.
All right.
We'll do that. Yeah. We had a lot of fun doing a little bit of picking and grinning at the Woodwalkers meet and greet a few months ago. And we had a ball picking and singing around the campfire a little bit there. So that's always fun. But yeah, Miss Phyllis and John, those are some good folks.
yes,
You got a booger song that you sing, don't you?
A what?
A booger song?
A booger song? A booger song.
Not a booger, but a booger.
Miss B, you're so funny.
The eggnog, Mama, the eggnog. I got some blackberry wine in there too. So
Some blackberry wine. And not no watermelon wine. You're talking about blackberry wine.
that song too. I was thinking about that
Yeah.
one earlier.
Yeah, that's oldie goldie too. But I was gonna sing this song I wrote. And this song I swear I'm gonna record. I get requests all the time when I'm gonna record this song, and I'm gonna do it. I promise. But it's like it's probably the silliest song I ever wrote, but people just seem to like it, and I used to play it anytime I play somewhere, but I never put it down on record yet. But it doesn't. Well, I'm gonna take it up a key. This is called a capo. Are y'all folks taking notes? and it's a capo, and it's a CAPO. You put it on the end of your guitar. If you ever seen guitar players, and they got one of them things on the end of the guitar like that, it's called a capo. And what it does is, like, if you used to singing a song in the key of C, but you want to play it in the key of D, which is different chords, you move it up a notch, and you can play it in D, but you're actually in C. We're gonna have a pop quiz, so y'all better be taking notes. Okay. Y'all still there? Y'all with me?
I'm listening,
Okay.
teacher. I'm listening, teacher.
Okay, here we go now. Gonna like this. Have you ever seen a live armadillo just sitting on the side of the road? Well, they've always got their street just sitting straight up in a dead little armadillo pose. Could be playing possum, I'm just saying, I don't know, but I have never seen a live armadillo sitting on the side of the road. One time I saw Elvis, he was shopping at a discount store. Bigfoot lives in my backyard and Batman lives next door. Seeing is believing, and I believe in UFOs, but I have never seen a live armadillo sitting on the side of the road. You've ever seen a live armadillo just sitting on the side of the road? Well, they've always got their feet just sticking straight up in a dead little armadillo pose. Could be playing possum, I'm just saying, I don't know. But I have never seen a live armadillo sitting on the side of the road. I've seen a live armadillo just sitting on the side of the road.
Yay. Dale, I really enjoy you being on here. I'm telling you right now.
You know, the story I usually tell with that song is back years ago, I was doing a radio interview, just a regular radio station in Columbus, Georgia. And back then, well, even now, back then, even though it was hard to get your songs played, you can go on the radio and play a song live and get away with it. So anyway, I was doing an interview in the radio. Host actually said, Dale said, as a songwriter, what inspires you? And I said, well, I said, Barry, I said, it don't take much. And I said, well, here's one I'm working on. And I went, have you ever seen a live armadillo? And I did that song. And before I could finish the song, all the phone lines were lighting up. And the other DJs and the other stations were coming in there, and they were like, oh, my God, as soon as you record that, we want a copy of that. And I'm like, that's the stupidest song I ever wrote. What you but people, and people were sending me little stuffed armadillos in the mail. Yeah.
Oh my God! You have
Not real ones, little plush, not like not that kind, like a armadillo sandwich or nothing, but
That's so funny.
yeah,
They sent real armadillos in the mail.
not like taxidermy, but a little plushy toy armadillo.
not the taxidermy. No. Billy wants to
Lordy.
do an older song, but we'll probably wait for that one toward the end of the show, right?
Probably so.
No taxidermy. Don't send me no taxidermy stuff in the mail, y'all.
No.
His job. I'll take that.
If it ain't freeze dried, I don't want it.
Tammy says, I can imagine them sending the real ones.
I
Tammy,
know,
there'll
that's
be
what I
some
said.
people-
I sure hope it ain't real ones, Dale. Can you imagine the post office just covered up the live armadillos in the
Oh, Lord.
Oh, Greg.
Oh my Lord.
I think the last time we was it Ray Stevens, the day the squirrel went to church. You remember that one?
we were talking about that. Yeah.
That was a good
That was a
video.
good
That was
one.
a good
Do you
video.
remember that any of the words to that one? Who remembers the Ray Stevens song, "The Day the Squirrel Went to Church"?
Yeah.
What was it? The first self-righteous church. They were.
That's it. Yeah, that's great. I never learned the words to it.
Oh,
It's
I
such a great
remember Lord of
song.
Mercy, baby's got her blue jeans on. Got her
Uh,
blue jeans on.
yeah. Yeah, Ray Stevens was a great singer. And actually, Ray Stevens is from
Yeah,
Albany, Georgia, just for a little historic note. It's not too far from where I live. And in fact, I lived in Albany, Georgia one time and saw Ray Stevens walking down the
Yeah,
street.
Kenny,
And
Mississippi.
it's one of them stories. Yeah, I actually did. And I didn't know it up until that point. And then I found out later that he was visiting his parents, and his parents lived around the corner from us somewhere. But that was pretty cool to see
We were
Ray
talking.
Stevens just strolling around the block.
We were talking about Jerry Clower too.
oh, he's
Jerry Clower. You remember that, Mary? You know, you remember Jerry Clower. Jerry, Mary, you don't remember
the
Jerry.
one-headed comedian that's real funny. He says, "La, ha." You don't remember him going,
And
"Ah."
Paul Dean and
Lord, that was
Modell.
Knock him out, John. Yeah, that was he was so funny. And he was just shoot in here amongst us. One of us has got to have some relief, but he always had so many funny stories, And I got to meet him a couple of times when I was young, and but he was a nice guy from Mississippi, Yazoo City, Mississippi.
Oh, wow.
Oh, you got Mary. No, Mary, you got to look up him. You have
Google
got
him. He's
he
hilarious.
that was back when comedians were funny. I
Yes.
mean,
Yeah.
that was back when
And his
comedians were
accent, Miss V, do you remember his accent? It was so
yeah.
fun.
And he'd start ratting off all of his cousins' names. What were they, Dale?
Adale and Maydale and Odale and all kinds of Dales. Yeah.
Uh, he was funny. He's very
But
funny.
y'all tell me some Bigfoot stuff.
Go ahead, Miss Mary.
Actually, Tennessee, Kentucky Bigfoot. I was hoping he would click on and tell us some of his Bigfoot stuff. But he
Yeah,
wants to.
anything going on recently? Anything cool going on out there?
We don't have anything really going on in our area. We are actually in our house. We're actually going from Bigfoot hunting to gold prospecting. So we're getting into that. And I told my husband, I said, when you make your first 50 or 60,000, I said, I want a mini facelift. And he said, no, you go pan your own gold, damn it. And I said,
Yeah.
okay, well then, I guess I'll be panning for my own gold instead of
No,
Bigfoot.
no.
What you got going on in your neighborhood, Mary?
Well,
There you go, Marcel Ledbetter.
the most recent thing was maybe about a month ago. I possibly heard some samurai chatter across the road from where I live. Late one night, I had taken the dog out, to go to the bathroom, and I could hear something from across the road, the woods over there where I'd seen the Bigfoot before. And, I'm listening a little bit harder, and yep, that's what it was. I could hear them talking up there. And I know that they sit up there and they watch the deer. I've seen one hunting up there before, chasing the deer. And yeah, I could hear them talking.
Wow. Well, I've never heard anything like that as far as with my own ears and stuff. But golly, that would freak me out. Wow.
Yeah, I've heard them before. Way back in 2004, But yeah, at this new house here, this is the first time I've heard them here.
Wow. Wow. Yeah, I haven't been out as much as I want to here lately. As far as out boogering in Boogerville, I call my backyard here.
Yep.
It's Boogerville, and all of my encounters have actually taken place right here in my backyard, within 40 or 50 feet from my back doors. Uh, and so I'm very fortunate. I don't have to go too far to hopefully maybe have an experience. It's not,
Yeah.
it's not all the time, but every once in a while. And I filmed some things back there and taking some
Yeah.
cool photos, lots of tree structures, things going on back up in there. Uh, but yeah, I need to get out myself and see what's going on back there. Them boogers may be looking for me and can't find me. I don't know.
Yeah, you've got a fantastic area yourself right there in your own backyard. You've taken some pretty good photos.
Okay, I haven't seen any. I didn't. This is my first time ever meeting you, Miss Mary, and Dale. So, Dale, do you mind telling me where you live? I mean, not where, but you know what I mean, the state. Don't tell me where you live.
Yeah, it's no secret. Well, I live in East Central Alabama. It's
Oh my
Phoenix
goodness,
City,
you're an
Alabama.
Alabamian. Okay, that's
Yeah,
wonderful that you're from Alabama. See, all the talented
yeah,
people from Alabama.
yeah. It's right on the line on the Chattahoochee River, right across from Columbus, Georgia, and Fort
Okay.
Benning. We're all here together. So it's on East Central Alabama. But yeah,
Well,
I've
it's
lived in
nice to meet
Alabama.
you and Miss Mary both. Thank you so much for introducing yourself.
Yep. And I'm in Western Pennsylvania, about 40 miles north of Pittsburgh, right along the Pennsylvania-Ohio line.
I've watched Miss Mary's shows. I've watched her shows, so I just didn't know her, but hadn't been introduced to her. But I watched her. Miss Mary, you had a show on. I think there was you and three other women. Now, I could be mistaken, but that's the show that caught my attention. Not because it was just women on the show, but because um, when you hear a show, sometimes it catches your attention, sometimes it don't, according to what you're overwhelmed with in everyday life. But your show caught my attention. It was such interesting conversation,
Oh,
and I remember. Um, a blonde-headed female was one of your guests, and I was listening, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, I need to go do laundry, but I'm going to give it a few more minutes and keep listening." And I mean, that's the kind of show that interests you, catches your attention,
yeah.
and you just don't want to leave the room to go do your chores.
Yeah.
When that kind of, so that's how I got to know Miss Mary. But as far as being introduced to her face to face, I have never met her. So
Oh, I
nice
did
to
not
meet
know that.
y'all.
Thank you. Thank you.
I did not know that. Well,
I think I first met you, Mary. Not actually, I didn't meet you first, but I think that associated with you was well, I think from Coonbo.
Yes.
From Coonbo.
I
Okay,
love
that's been a
that
long
name.
time.
Kubo. I love that name.
uh, so Billy says back in October, Gary Spikes and I set Dale's tent right up against the wood line, and we had activity several nights in a row. Dale woke up the next morning and said, "Y'all set me up in booger bushes."
They, they set us up for bait. I think that's what they did. Set us up in the where they're having all activity and we didn't even know it. Like, hey, let's put Dale and Robin here where the boogers are at, and maybe we'll catch something on camera.
So,
But
so what happened? Did you get your tent just built?
I no, nothing didn't happen. Thank goodness. I did catch some possibly eye shine out on one side of my tent, and actually Greg House and some others there caught it also on behind my tent, and also behind Greg's tent, which was set real close to mine, and Billy Schilling. We're all kind of sitting there together. But yeah, we did catch some eye shine back in the woods back there, and it was a fun weekend, and quite a bit of stuff went on. Yeah.
Billy
Yeah.
said he for
That's where I always set up my tent, is right along the tree line, because I want to be right there where the action is.
Yeah.
Billy says, I forgot to tell him we had put peanut butter back behind us. Just wrong, man.
Okay.
Miss V,
Phyllis
Miss V, do you
says she
mind?
wants to sing with Dale. If you want to try the link again, Phyllis, see if you can jump on and try it again. I know when I was on O-Line Cryptid last night, they were going through to talk about the cryptid encounters, but I think it was like an hour before the show. They asked me if I wanted to jump on, so I could only give an hour last night because I was going to do the day, and family comes first. And we were talking about some of our cryptid. It didn't get to me. I had to go before it could get to me, but out, going out in the swamps of North Carolina, we've had some really good activity. But the weirdest vocal I ever had was on South Mountains, and it started out sounding like a coyote, and then it went to this really deep, like something cleared its throat, and then started mumbling and just grumbling. And I remember, it was probably 30, 40 yards in the wood line away from us. And I remember looking at my husband. I said, did you please tell me you got that recorded? And he looked down at his phone. He's like, no, sure didn't. It was the best vocals. That was the best vocal I ever heard. South Mountains, awesome vocal. It was like it started out as a coyote, then it cleared its throat, then it started into a mumble, then a grumble, and like it was just ticked off, or just like the heck would you. It's crazy. Yeah.
I'm sorry, Miss V. I was going to ask. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt. That's what I was going to respond to all of y'all about. I can't imagine seeing them and hearing them, because I seen them in a closed car, doors locked, windows up, didn't hear a peep. They didn't move a muscle. And I'm going, so how does people see these things as scary and huge as they are, and how shocking they are when you first see these things, and not freak out when they hear them too? Like if I'd have heard them and seen them, I would have had a cardiac arrest. I'm serious. I know I would have. It was bad enough seeing them through a locked car door. How do y'all do it?
Whenever I hear them, I'm usually grinning ear to ear. I'm just so pleased to hear them.
The night on South Mountain was like a crazy night. We literally were on top of the mountain, and in the middle of this clearing, someone had already made a fire pit, and we're like, hey, that's cool, right? And as a courtesy, you always put your firewood to the side and leave it for the next person that comes for you. And so someone had done that with a few pieces of wood, and we're like, oh, well, that's cute. And it was me and my husband and his friend Lynn, and we had Cowboy, our dog, with us, and we were on top of that mountain. And people had actually gotten chased off the South Mountain. And when I say they've gotten chased off the South Mountain, they have been chased off the South Mountains. And some researchers have actually put recorders up there and heard them getting chased off South Mountain. But that was a crazy night. When we weren't getting vocals coming from the wood line, we were using the fire, which I will never do again in my life. If anyone ever leaves courtesy firewood behind, I will never do it again in my life. Someone had taken little 22 bullets and put it in the logs. And so as the logs would heat up, we're going off. And
Miss V.
We were all three ex-cops out there. Every time a round would go off, we were hitting the ground.
Leave it up to her to use courtesy firewood that was left behind that has fire.
you got three cops out there, and I mean, literally, it would
Oh
go
my
ping,
God.
ping, and we were just hitting the ground. And when that happened, we had Bigfoot vocals coming. That was a crazy night. Oh my God, that was crazy. So, Nick, rule of thumb: bring your own firewood with you. How about that? Yeah,
Yep.
that was crazy.
God.
But that's pretty good. I think I would rather go South Mountain than Uwari, and I'm about Uwari or the swamps, the coastal swamps, or my kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I heard them growling at me one time. That was about the only time that I wasn't happy to hear them. Uh, one was we were out in Oklahoma way back in one of the state forests, and just sitting still. I had my window down about 8 feet away in the bushes. There was one growling, and it was like, oh crap. That was a brown shorts moment right there. He
Oh my
wanted
goodness.
out of there.
I
Oh
just
my
can't
goodness.
imagine.
Well,
Cannot
I
imagine
have
seeing and hearing
you talk about vocals. I guess my best vocal capture evidence that I have, I think it was 2018 when I captured it, and just right up the road from my house, there's an old road goes back off into the woods, and it's called Wild Man Bottom Road, and so it caught my curiosity one day when I was going up through there, and I wondered why it was called Wild Man Bottom Road. Most people name a road for a reason, whether it's Smith Road, named after the Smiths, or, or whatever, Booger Bottom, whatever, so I was curious. So I decided to take my truck and ride up through there. And it's a very squatchy road, and I still go there quite often. We go down some gullies and stuff, cross some creeks and things. But anyways, I've been doing a little squatching out there. Going late at night and things, never seen much of anything to talk about. So one evening, my uncle who lived in Jacksonville, Florida, was in town and wanted to go squatching. So he called. I said, "Well, let's go tonight." And also my son-in-law Jim, he wanted to go. I said, "Well, let's just go." So they met at my house. And the one thing that I did different, and this may contribute to why I caught the audio, and it's usually when I would go down there, I'd go in my old Dodge truck that I love, what I'm saying? And it's old school. It sounds like this, blah, 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 so them boogers, they know when I'm coming because they can hear me. But this particular night, I said, well, since it's all of us, let's just go in Robin's car. And Robin's car was quiet, like most cars. So I remember getting there and parking this by the bridge in the creek, a little area where you can kind of pull off to the side of the road, and and I positioned my car back in the exit position. And I always tell people to do this, and actually Mary Coonbo Baker taught me this,
Yep.
and along with others you ever heard him talk, but always park your vehicle in the exit out position. Because you don't never know when you need to get the heck out of there, wherever you're at in the woods, whatever, So always make sure you're in that direction to go. So we had, but anyway, Jim, my son-in-law that was there, he's never been Bigfoot before. And so he's got a high voice. And my voice, I don't have a falsetto anymore, which if you know anything about music, that's that little thing in your throat that makes you hit the high notes, the Michael Jackson notes. And when I had my surgery in 2011, I had some damage to it and took away a lot of music I used to do because I can't get the notes anymore. But anyway, that's a different story. But anyway, so I told Jim, I said, look here, you got a high voice. I said, I want you to holler just as long and loud as you can. So he did. And it's very high pitched. Well, about 20 seconds later, you can hear what I think was a watcher, what they call a watcher, because just one single howl, like like, hey, is that somebody there? I don't know. Just a few seconds later, there was more, and the woods just came alive. And there's coyote in there also, which, if you do the research and stuff, we figure they probably run together, Bigfoots and coyotes, just all in the same bushes, might as well hang out together, you're already there, so, but anyway, we caught this video, and the thing is, it started out with that one howl, then it got, I mean, the woods literally came alive. I mean, I told Jim, I said, God, I said, I don't know what you did, but he owed the whole forest off. They are mad. Everything out there is mad, and they were coming towards us. And you could hear it just getting louder and louder. I mean, even on the audio, and it's recorded, you can hear it getting louder and louder. That's because they were coming towards us. And I mean, that was the first time, even to this day, that I said, let's get in the car and get the heck out of here. I don't know what that is. We couldn't see anything. It was pitch dark. Couldn't see anything. Didn't have any as much equipment as I got now. We had some video cameras, but couldn't see anything to record except the audio recorded on the video camera, plus another separate audio camera, a little separate audio camera just for vocalizations that I had set there, and they picked it up really well. But I've had this analyzed. It's been analyzed by a lot of people, from my buddy Christopher Noel to Kunbo, our buddy Kunbo Baker. He listened to it, and he said, in his opinion, there's at least 2 Bigfoots and maybe 1 dog man in this one audio that I captured. And if y'all want to hear it, just go to my YouTube site. Just Google my name, Dale Boswell, and it'll take you to some of my music. I actually recorded music that you can listen to, and some music videos, and to my Facebook and all that kind of stuff, But anyway, you can hear that audio. It's called the Wild Man Bottom audio. But if you haven't heard it, you should check it out and take a listen.
I'm jotting this down, Dale.
Okay, the Wild Man Bottom audio. Yeah, yep. It's and one of the weirdest things about this audio, and I said, and it's been analyzed, and not only by me, but like I say, other people that does this kind of stuff. And the weirdest thing is you can hear the crickets and things in the background. All the insects, because this was like in June or July of 2018. So you can hear all the insects. When Jim made his howl, real loud and long and shrieking, you could hear the crickets. But as soon as that first howl, all by itself, you can see it on the audio spectrum, where all the insects lowered the volume instantaneously. It's like you turn the volume down on insects. Like, we didn't fool them when we made our howl, but as soon as that real deal come up, they're like, uh-oh. The neighborhoods woke up, and that was one of the weirdest things about, having stuff like that analyzed and getting to see the actual wavelengths and different things like that, where it's actual some kind of data or data, however you want to say it.
I watched Miss Mary. I'm not quite for sure. Your show had, like I said, I think there was, including you, 4 women. And so I'm trying to remember which episode it was, because it just kept me captivated. I remembered your face. I couldn't remember exactly your name and where you're from, but I remembered your face from that show because I was so infatuated with the things. They were so informative. And I love intelligent people. I always have. I just love learning. And so, anyways, I was just enthralled by your show. And there was, I remember one of your guests had blonde hair. I can't remember her name though. But anyway, she had cutest button blonde hair. I do remember that. And I was thinking, this is a really interesting show. Well, I kept thinking, okay. And so when yours ended, I went to another show, and it was people who study paranormal, but I guess people, they're already thinking you're crazy when you tell them that you've seen something you can't explain Bigfoot wise. So people, if they're already going to call you psycho for saying you've seen a Bigfoot or something that appears to be a Bigfoot, imagine if you tell them that you see ghosts or talk to ghosts or something like that, they're really going to be on you. Well, anyways, I just so happened to get busy, and it was stuck on that paranormal channel, and people were out in the woods, and they had recorders, and they were going to stay all night in the tent and play with a Ouija board. Okay.
Oh, jeez.
Help me, Jesus. I'm sitting there and I'm just going on getting busy with my puppy, and I come back to the TV and he's playing with his Ouija in the tent, and something starts knocking on the top of that tent. And I'm going, Lord, I mean, there was nothing out there. There was nothing that could have moved that fast. I mean, he was right there by the zipper. I mean, it's crazy. There's things out there we just don't understand.
Yeah.
Whether you see it in flesh or whether you don't, there's
Right.
things that we can't. And it blows my mind that people are really going through these things.
Yeah, there's no way that I would be fooling around with a Ouija board.
One
No,
time in my life.
no.
One time in my life. I did it once and I will never, ever do it again, ever.
Yeah.
Me either.
Should
You know, Miss Mary is a superstar in the Bigfoot world. She really is. And I've been following her for so long, and she really is. And it's an honor for me to be on the same show with you, Miss Mary.
Oh,
And she's
But-
got a book out too.
Yeah, you know, me and you, Mary, have 245 mutual friends. So we know a lot of people in the Bigfoot world.
Yeah, we do. We do. Yeah.
you got a book out, Miss Mary?
Yes, I do. It's available on Amazon. Tell you what, if it'll come up. Okay, hold on. Let me get rid of this background.
Let me tell people right quick. Look, I'm 54 years old. What I've learned about Bigfoot. Okay, Miss Mary, I got you.
Yeah,
let me
it's
tell you, I
on
don't want people
Amazon.
thinking bad about me that I've messed with the Ouija. I'm 54 years old. I was 30 when this happened, and it was all my cousins that were all the same age, and we were all going to get together and hang out at each other's house. And it was a bunch of cousins all the same age, and I was 30. If I could go back and change it, I would, but we were stupid, and I'll never do it again. So
I don't think that was towards you, Leon. I think that Selena, I think that was just in general.
No, I'm just saying I don't want them to think I still mess with them things.
Listen, I grew up with tent revivals. I don't.
Oh.
I see my uncle pray many things out of people. No, I don't think I'll do the Ouija board. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yep. So I just. So Mary, I'm sorry. Can you go back to your book and where she can find it? We were talking over you.
Yes.
Oh no, it's yeah. If you just type in my name and Bigfoot, it'll come up on Amazon.
Okay.
Or else you can order it directly from me, and I'll autograph it and mail it out to you.
Oh,
So send me a message, and I'll take PayPal or Venmo or Cash App or check or whatever. But yeah, just send me a message, and I can do that for you.
thank you, Miss Mary.
Oh, you're welcome. Happy to. And thank you, Diane, and everyone on there commenting. Thank you.
Yeah, you've had some really nice comments coming up. I've tried to keep up with them as they come. So,
I haven't got my specs on, so I couldn't read them anyway. So if I need to say something in one, y'all let me know so I can be personal.
we got some domestic violence going on. Diane, slap them. If you're talking about Joe,
Yes.
Diane, slap him on both cheeks for me.
Yep.
He's been out of hand lately. So, I don't know what's wrong with Joe Parker. But anyway,
His last name is Parker. That's what it is. My main name is Parker, so I know very well that we're ornery. So
so going back to parking, always backing in so you could have a retreat. That's a cop thing. That's what cops do. You always
really?
back in so you could, if it hits the fan, you can just go. And the last thing I want to do is, have to back out of somewhere where a 9-foot forest giant's chasing me to my car and hit a log or start going backwards. I don't think I want to do that. So yeah.
There's a lot of things. I've been researching since 2014 as far as really seriously researching, and had the opportunity to go from Alabama to New Mexico, with Mark Newell and Dan Rickey and Brenda Harris and a lot of people like that, and had a ball. Uh, but you folks just never know what's actually in your neighborhood. And like I said, that's where I found all activity going on is in my neighborhood by accident. Basically, I just figured they were everywhere but here. When I first started in 2014. So
You sound like me.
one thing that some of the people ask me a lot of times just for some advice, and some things that, and most stuff again I learned. Kumbo was my mentor as far as when I first started learning Kumbo Baker, and I finally got a chance to meet him and hug his neck a couple of months ago. And I still love me some Kumbo, even though we talk on the phone a lot. And Kumbo would call me up and want to talk about country music, and I want to talk about boogers. So we go back and forth. But what if you're out in the field, if you pull up somewhere, and a lot of people don't think about this, but if you got a recording device, whatever it is, whether it's your phone, or your or separate recorder, video, whatever, have it running before you step out of the car.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't realize that, but them boogers, they know when you drive up, and especially when they hear a door slam or something. And they could have been all kinds of activity right at that very moment you drive up. And once that door slams, it stops. So that's just one of the tips I tell people. And I do this to this day. I have if I'm out boogering. I don't do it if I'm up at the Dollar General or something. I don't walk out with my phone going. Yeah, that's something I tell you newcomers. Because you don't want to miss something because you a lot of times you only get that one chance.
Well, me and Pat, our Blue Eyed North, we were talking one time. The communication with them, if you're going into an area that's active, they're communicating before you even turn your car off. They are anticipating and communicating that you are in that area. And you guys, I guess I'm the bad guy here because I don't think they want to be your friend. I don't think that they're all, just going out there in the woods and observe them and they're okay. I think there's uh, some pretty bad stuff going on out there with some of them. Not all of them, but some. I don't think they want to be your friend. But you got some people that live with them on the property, and they've had a few incidents here and there. Let's see. Actually, the 29th. Will and Fred to be back on the show, and we're talking about the gold miners and fur trappers that have experienced them. It did not turn out well for some of these people, and it's great to go out looking for them, and I'm sorry to be a Debbie Downer, but I don't think they all want to be your buddy and all want to be your friend. I don't, and I kind of I try to put both sides of the story on my show. I think some people have good experiences, some people not so good. So that's just I'm kind of on the line with that. So if you guys, want to come at me because you don't agree, I'm perfectly fine. I want to hear what you have to say about it, but I think both sides of it we've got to discuss both sides. We're obligated to discuss both sides of it. That's just where I'm at.
No,
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. I mean, of course they don't want to be your friend, but that don't mean they're not friendly to some degree. As far as they're not out here to get us. If they wanted to get us, they could get all of us, probably. But yeah, it don't mean they're not like it's not going to be like a deer or something like that. Walk up in your yard or hang out with you and stuff. But you're right. It's you got to play it by ear. You got to listen to your instincts. Around any kind of animal, you got to know. I mean, they could be dangerous. People too.
Well, I think
and that point earlier on my own podcast, we were talking about always listen to your instincts. be aware of your surroundings, and once you get that little tingling of whatever, uh, your instincts are telling you something. So listen to them and be ready to act in some way, shape, or form. But yeah, your instincts are there for a reason. And there's a book that I highly recommend, on how to listen to your instincts. It's called The Gift of Fear by Gavin DeBeck. And you can look it up on Amazon. The Gift of Fear.
Mm-hmm.
And it's excellent, because there's been many times whenever I've been just hit with that feeling of danger, and so you follow your instincts and act from there. And my life has been saved by listening to my instincts.
I, Mary, the area that I used to go out in when I first started, and I didn't know anything. And I think the best activity and experiences I ever had was when I weren't, on Facebook or on YouTube trying to learn about the subject. And me and my friend Richard just went in naive um, with it, and just thought it'd be cool one day to go out and do it. But, he had a class A. I mean, very terrifying experience. Now, 20, 30 years later, his opinion on that terrifying experience has kind of changed because he kind of looks at it different now.
Mhm.
But I never had a problem going alone out there till one morning. It was really foggy and it was really damp. And I go out there, I get out in my car, go to enter the edge of the swamp like you always do. And I probably got about 15, 20 yards in it. And I could not get out. I could not turn around and leave fast enough. I had the worst feeling. And it was the type of fog that just hung in the air. And, you could barely see your hands in front of your face. I mean, when they were fully extended, it was just a heavy fog. And it weren't the fog because, I worked in the fog for 20 years. I, I just cannot explain it. An area that I never felt threatened in. That morning, I could not get out of there fast enough, and I had to swallow some humble pie, and I backtracked right on out of there, and I was carrying too, and I just did not feel safe.
Yeah.
So
Yep. Yeah, there's been very, very few situations where I've been where, um, well, let's see, the one situation where I had to uh, go into my car and, grab my pistol and get it out. And me and my partner had to go back to back that night. Um, we were getting surrounded, and it was a nasty situation. But once they saw that we were armed and we were ready, they backed off.
I think this is what Misty says. Sometimes it doesn't matter what you have on you, Miss V. When you're good, it's time to go.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. I'm one of those when I do go out. I'm armed. If you see me carry a pocketbook, it's because I have my gun with me. It's not because I have lipstick stuck in there. Okay.
Yeah.
But I'm also one of those when I'm out in the woods, I forget I have a sidearm. It's not the go-to every time I get spooked. I'm gonna drop down and pull out and be ready, steady. A good disciplined person sometimes forget that they have a firearm until they're backed up and they need it. It's just comes with coming. It's not your first line of defense, and it shouldn't be
Right.
in most situations. But I have that day. I don't know. It was a fear. It went beyond my gut telling me to leave. It was a fear of going out there. And there's a lot of history too there. You know, in 1920s, you had the Beast of Bladen, and where what a lot of people don't know is 20 years, 30 years after that, the same cycle happened where dogs were getting ripped off the chains, their blood's, you know, sucked out of them. But this time, instead of coon dogs, they were ripping people's pit bulls off the chain and killing them and sucking the blood out of them. But what I
Wow.
found out, you know, a while back, blood is, you know, it's got calories in it. Is something that they, you know, they like. I spoke with someone actually from Arkansas that had seen a Bigfoot with a dead deer across its shoulder, and its head had been um, beat in. And the one thing that really stuck out in his mind, this guy's a hunter. And he said that the deer's head was just pancake flat. He said it had no eyes. He said, but what really bothered him, there was no blood on that deer's head that was draped across this Bigfoot soldier or shoulder. And he said he had to have licked the blood or washed it. I have a tendency to believe he licked the blood and ate the eyeballs when he killed the deer. But that the blood has calories. It's got what they need in it. And
Yes.
so that would be consistent with, you know, a Bigfoot taking the blood out of an animal and sucking it dry, like we had in our area in the 1920s. So,
I
Yeah,
just fascinated by some of this stuff. I'm sorry, Miss Mary, I still hear all this, and I can't believe that I'm in this same category with y'all. Do you know what? Do you understand where I'm? Does anybody understand what I'm saying? Do y'all understand? I can't believe that as of August 7th, am sitting here in front of y'all talking about heads being licked and eyeballs being ate. And yet August the 7th or the 6th, August the 6th of this year, I knew nothing about no Bigfoots, didn't know, you know what I mean? And all of a sudden I'm sitting here listening to this kind of stuff, and I still can't believe I'm in the same category. Do you understand?
well, you're
I've
in the
never
club
dreamed.
now.
I've
You're
never
in the
dreamed.
club.
Well, I guess I am. But
Yeah.
it's crazy. Just crazy. I still can't believe it. Still can't believe it happened to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Y'all blow me away with these, because I'm learning what you went through, and I'm so eager to learn because I don't understand what I went through. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
It's so when you tell me stuff like Miss V just said about the eyeballs, I'm saying, Lord have mercy, this really happened to somebody. I mean, this really happened.
well, if you think about it, that is definitely a flesh and blood primal behavior.
Yeah.
You know, but then again, you get high strangeness around them, so you can't knock that either. I don't like the term woo, but you do have a lot of high strangeness around. When we were out in our area, we got something on camera that we did not see with our you know, our naked eyes, and it looked like Michael Myers. And at first, we thought it was pareidolia from. It's not. It casted a shadow in the water, you know, so it, whatever it was there, we just didn't see it, but yet it cast a shadow in the water. And so there's a lot of weird stuff that go on in the swamps. But is the weirdness caused by the cryptids, or is it the cryptids just happen to cohabitate on land with a lot of high strangeness on it? I
Well,
mean,
see, people
there's
say
your.
something like what I seen in my sky in January. I don't see strange stuff in my sky. I don't see hairy creatures stand up on this huge ranch. Nobody's out there but me. You know what I'm saying? This stuff don't happen. So it's not just, I guess, settled in my mind yet that I'm learning so much, but yet still scared of what I'm learning. You know what I mean? I know what I've been through. I know what I've seen, but yet don't understand I don't understand why. I don't understand why the rest of the world is having a hard time understanding what I've seen. So I learned so much from y'all. And I think Miss Mary, let me put my glasses back on. I forgot. I got a little cold coming on, so I keep wiping my nose. I'm sorry. I think her name was PJ. She had blonde hair. Was PJ on your show, PJ Arkansas?
Um,
In our show, Mary.
okay,
Maybe
maybe.
I was fascinated, and it just made me go and watch their shows, and I started thinking, wow. I mean, this happens to really intelligent people. I mean, not saying I'm smart. That's not what I mean. Just I'm saying this happens to people who work hard for a living, very intelligent, driven people, and yet here I go out to a property by myself, and it happens to me. With driving down the road with three puppies. I'm 100 pounds overweight. My life is boring. Nothing ever happens in my life that's interesting. And all of a sudden, I go from that 3 or 4 months later to hearing and meeting some of the most fascinating people that I have ever met in my life. And Miss
You'll,
V, you included. Thank you so much. I'm learning so much from y'all, is what I'm trying to say.
oh, well, I'm happy to have finally met you.
Yeah, don't just get. I don't know how to say this. Um, don't just get stuck on one opinion of them.
Yeah.
Keep your mind open to even if no matter how strange it seems, listen to them, because you never know when down the road what may sound hilarious or far-fetched to you now may ring a bell and fall into place down the road. So even when you're talking to someone and you're thinking this person can't be, telling the truth, or they have no credibility, no way that happened, listen, because down the road, what I have learned, you will be eating your words just as sure as you say that never happened. So don't. I mean, I'm flesh and blood, but if you're high strangeness and you think they're interdimension or dimensional or what, I'm gonna sit down and have a conversation, and you might halfway convince me through a conversation. It's when I finish that conversation and I have my alone time at home the week after that, I kind of go back to the flesh and blood, you
Yeah.
know. But listen to everybody. But Misty says, look at the vampire lore. They drink blood to get stronger, faster, more abilities. They don't die, get weak, grow old, or go feral. Me personally, I could see me growing feral. But then Hillary says this, and Hillary's to me is dead on it. The veil is not just thin and that thing has holes. I really believe the uptick on cryptids is rising, and you're going to start seeing a lot more high strangeness. Now, I think the things that are flying around in the sky right now I think those are uh, holograms. I don't think they're real. I'm sorry. I don't think they're a threat.
So you think what that's what I was meant to ask y'all during all that conversation. I just
I'll say it. I think that's like a power grab. The government trying to get a power grab there.
so you
But
thought that's what I seen in January. Have you seen that one?
no.
That video on my channel? Y'all, that was something else. It was 3 something in the morning. Ginger had to go tea.
Yes, I
I
did see
opened that door
that.
and that thing sitting there. And for a minute, I thought, is there a fire? I know that's a movie, but that didn't even enter my mind. I just thought, is that a fire? And Ginger's minding her own business, sniffing. I was trying to potty train her. And it was a little after 3 a.m. And I thought, is that a fire? And I said, wait a minute. And the inside was changing, like different. It kept just changing. But the outside of this thing stayed still. I don't know how to describe it. It was like the outside was so still. And inside this thing, it kept changing directions. Like it would just different shapes. It was the strangest thing. And I thought, the only thing I know to do is to tell people, please go look. I have no idea what I seen. Please go tell me what that is. Because nobody else has put it on the news. I ain't heard nobody say it on Facebook. Nobody on my street seen it.
Mhm.
And so that's why I'm glad I went back and ran and got my phone, and did that video. I mean, I just wanted to know if maybe y'all could tell me what it was I seen. because I don't see strange stuff like this. This all happened just this year.
Yes.
It's almost like there's an uptick in it.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
there's an uptick.
Yeah. Yeah, who knows? I don't think that it's aliens, in my humble opinion. I think that it's more government.
A
And
dark government.
it could be good guys, it could be bad guys. We don't know. I'm hearing all kinds of different things, and I don't want to get you demonetized or
I don't. You know what? If YouTube jumps me off, I'll just jump on Rumble. I don't. I
yeah.
don't care. It's just, I don't. I mean, Rumble free speech. I don't even know why we're on YouTube anyway. As much
Yeah,
as we have to
I
restrict
know.
our speech. What you can go live on Rumble just as fast as you can
Yeah.
YouTube and have conversations. Um, but thank you, Mary. I love you. Prospect in the USA says, Miss Fee, have you heard of Greg Ogle's portal experience? No, but I have three friends. I don't. If you guys ever watched A Cryptid Huntress with Jessica Jones, she was with two of my friends up in Alabama, and they experienced a portal. I think there was like four people there. Three got cancer, messing around the portal. One of my friends actually went into the portal. I I don't know if she was actually with them with the portal open, or they had her stationed in another area. But if you go back and you watch Christine Payton's Boots on the Ground episode I had, then go back and watch Like a Rock with David. Those two were involved in that portal incident. And that is also linked to the episode I had called The Meadow Project. But yeah, I haven't heard of that portal, but I would like to hear more about that. Um, do you guys know what he's talking about, Greg? I guess Ogle's portal experience.
No.
I met Mr. Ogles. He's a very nice feller, very intelligent. But I've not heard of that. But if y'all find it, please tell me so I can write it down and go watch it.
Okay.
Dale, have you heard anything about that?
No, I know of Greg, some of his research, but it may, I don't remember that in particular, um, that incident, but I'm not sure. I'm gonna look it up. I want to look a little deeper into that, but that sounds
Yeah.
interesting. Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you something else that goes a little further than that. That portal is located on the 33rd parallel, the same parallel Elvis Presley was born, the same
Wow.
parallel the Great Pyramids are on, the same parallel that Hollywood is on. Um, there's so much energy that goes around the 33rd parallel, and yeah. So I mean, it's which none of them ever told me where it was. I just kind of figured it out by listening to several other people. But it's public land; it's not private land. So I mean, it's
Hmm.
out there. Would I mess with it? No. I've had my near death experience. I choose not to have another one. So that's that's just it for me. But I do think the veil is thinning. I do think there's an uptick. And once you've seen one of these creatures, you have a sense about you where you start to notice more than the average person. Mary, you're shaking your head. Did you have anything you want to follow up on that with?
I don't know. It's what comes first, the chicken or the egg? I've experienced both. Gonna see. Well, my first Bigfoot experience was whenever I was 11, but probably around the same time was whenever I experienced my first ghost, and UFOs later on in life. So it's just weird. So we were talking about this on my show just an hour or so ago, and about you're just being more aware. Once you experience Bigfoot or probably anything paranormal, the more you experience, the more sensitive you become, and more aware that you become to them. And you can tell whenever they're around. I can feel them. Whenever one is close by, I know that they're there. Even though I may not see them, I may not see movement, but I can tell that they're nearby. It's just
Um,
weird.
yeah. So let's find this. And for UPD, no, that's not the one. He said DA talked about the ley lines. Yeah, ley lines are actually something a lot of researchers use, or a lot of ghost hunters use, and have been using for years and years and years to find hot spots. I know back in the 80s that some ghost hunters, here it is, um, DA talked a lot about ley lines. I know back in the 80s, a lot of ghost hunters would use the ley lines and talked a lot about the ley lines to find areas where there were a lot of activity um, on there. And if you go, we had the Brad from the Awakening podcast that come on and talked about the 33rd parallel. Jeremiah says, what about the 37th parallel? I think the closer you get to the 33rd parallel, the more stranger the activity will have. I don't know about the 37th parallel, but I imagine that if it's involved in those ley lines, you got it there. But I agree with what you said about the paranormal, but I did want to get that out, what said about the ley lines. So it's been used throughout history for like decades and decades to find
Right.
high strangeness.
Really is. It really is. Especially with the paranormal ties to it. Remember back before before Rob and I started Bigfoot,
Mhm.
we were actually into the ghost hunting thing for a couple of years. I mean, real heavy. Investigating a lot of the places they like the ghost hunters and the ghost adventurers. People would investigate, like in Florida, some of the in St. Augustine, the lighthouse and different things like that, and the fort and things. But we really got into the ghost hunting thing uh, pretty big, and then it got too real. It really did. There's some things that really literally scared us, and and I'm Christian. I believe in God. And it just got too deep for me, and not long after that, we found the Bigfoot thing, and thank goodness that's a whole lot more fun and
Yeah,
not near as scary. But that ain't nothing to play with when you get in that ghost hunting business.
yeah. Wait a minute. Greg says, did someone destroy the Stone Deal in Georgia? Yeah, somebody drove there and
Mhm.
pretty much blew them up. Greg, yeah, sure did. Um, where he said that. But yeah, I think you're right. I used to do the ghost hunting thing for a little bit, and which I didn't really have an interest in it, but I was medically retired at the time, so I just said, like, whatever. So I went out and did it. Then when my dad died, I was like, I don't know if I feel right about that, because there's something that changed. But it's also like people always say, well, before you had your Dogman or your canine cryptid experience, were you into Bigfoot, or did you know about Bigfoot? Well, anyone that worked third shift listened to Art Bell, and that kept
Oh
your
yeah.
company at night.
Yeah.
So, I mean, how do you answer that? I mean, it
Oh
was there
yeah.
in your mind, but do you preconceive yourself having an encounter? So when they say, well, were you into it before then? Well, I mean, you listen to Art Bell. You,
Oh yeah, man. I grew up on Art Bell, especially when I got in the music business, because usually anywhere we would play, you would finish up at 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. And
Yeah.
that's when Art Bell would come on. And man, I couldn't wait to put that guitar down, jump off that stage, get my guitar, and tune that AM radio to Art Bell or Coast to Coast, whatever it was back in then. And listen to it on the way home. But those were the good old days, man. Art Bell is, yeah, and
Yeah.
you still listen to him, find some of his stuff. So you should
Yeah.
check him out.
Yeah, Art Bell. Yeah, I like the old school. I don't think it preconditions you to see something out there, though. I mean, it may open your mind. I don't know, but how do you really answer that? I mean, if you, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I just that question has always kind of threw me for uh, a loop. So, Dale, let's go off course for a minute. You got another song in you?
Oh, let's see. It's of course, if you want me to do some kind of serious, something I really like to sing, or something goofy or funny, or something like
What
that. I
about
got
your
a couple of them.
What about your soldier song?
Well, you wait a minute. You guys need one you can sing backup in, right? No, we've got plenty one where you
Oh,
guys.
we could think of something. Yeah.
Sing
The
some
biggest
duet.
thing. Yeah, we could find one of those, I'm sure. But our biggest problem. I played professionally for over 2 decades, almost 30 years, and it was always a 4 or 5 piece band, always guys. But you wouldn't believe how many requests we would get for women's songs. Like, hey, do you know that song by Shania Twain? Do you know it? No, I'm like, you know, w- you see a bunch of guys up here on this stage. I am not about to sing a song about how much I love him, so we don't know any girl songs. Uh, but if it was an old standard song, that girls and guys have recorded, like "Help Me Make It Through the Night" or old Patsy Cline song or something like that.
Oh, mother's
Then,
daughter.
if a girl wanted to sing with us, we could usually pull it off, and play it.
Oh,
But anyway, let me just sing one of my songs I just love to sing.
All right.
And I was getting to earlier, Johnny Cash, Merle Haggard, and Glenn Campbell were, I guess, my
Mhm.
first three inspirations. Even though I got to know Waylon Jennings as I got older, and that was an honor, and I could tell you some cool Waylon stories. But Glenn Campbell was my idol, and back when I went on the New Mexico tour, we were up around Arizona, and I couldn't help but think about this song because one of my favorite songs, and it goes like this. By the time I get to Phoenix, she'll be rising. She'll find a note I left hanging on her door. She'll laugh when she reads the part that says I'm leaving. 'Cause I've left that girl so many times before. By the time I make Oklahoma, she'll be working. She'll probably stop at lunch. Lord, give me a call. But she'll just hear that phone keep on ringing off the wall. And that song, by the time I make Albuquerque, she'll be sleeping. She'll turn softly, call my name out loud, and she'll cry just to think I would really leave her. Though time after time I try to tell her so, she just didn't know. I wouldn't really go. No, she didn't know.
That's pretty.
Hope I didn't get off camera there or off key. I'm off key as enough as it is, but I was trying to stay close enough where you could you could hear my off notes. But
That was beautiful. Thank you.
thank y'all
Boy,
for getting me show out. Let me show out a little bit. I don't get to do this too often, so thank y'all so much.
Does anyone in chat have anything they want to hit on, or does anyone want to jump in on the link and discuss anything? If not, we're probably about to close it up. Mary and Selena and Dale have given up their time tonight that they could be with their family, and I have really enjoyed it, and I was very, very grateful you guys jumped in. But if there's anyone that wants to discuss something, wants to hit on a topic, or either wants to jump in and chat, let us know. If not, we're probably going to close it up here. So Mary, we'll start with you. Do you have anything you want to put out there? Anything that's going on? Anything experience? Anything you want to put out there in closing?
Not much going on. Just if anyone has a chance to jump on my group on Facebook, Pennsylvania Bigfoot Project, and that way you'll get any announcements as to what's going on. Anything current on the research and upcoming campouts also.
All right, Dale, you got anything you want to put out there?
Oh, I don't think so. I've had a lot of fun. I'm just hanging around the house, being lazy and enjoying talking to you folks. So thank you so much for having me on.
Oh, you bet, buddy. Selena, put your channel out there so we could jump on and support your channel. And is there anything you want to put out there in closing?
just that I'm so proud to have met the two guests tonight, along with getting to see you, Miss B. Thank you so much for introducing them to me, and I will be checking your channels out. Thank you so much.
I'm so glad that you got to meet them too. The whole community is like a family, and just love them so much. And I love you guys so much. And I'm so glad you gave the time up to keep people company out there. We kind of winged it, we kind of sung it, and everything else. And Mary, you always step up, and you always are up for supporting the community. And I just want to thank everybody out there. And Billy says, good night, everyone. Great show, Miss Fee, Brother Dale, Miss Mary, Miss Leon. Great spending time with y'all. Be careful out there. Nothing but love for y'all. And, you guys, Merry Christmas to you all. And you all are such giving people all throughout the year, not just on the holiday. And, God bless and Merry Christmas, and be safe out there. Thank you, guys.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Good night.
Christmas. Good night, everyone.
Good night.